know that I'm different, self-motivated, self-disciplined, yeah. I learned from my experience. I just want someone.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode from Boyz, man. I'm your host, Terry, Mr. King. And heavy is the head that wears the crown. And man, I got this guy on here. There's another king in the city, man, making waves in the city, taking the city by storm, left and right to left, man. This man paving the way for not just others, but he paved the way for me to spread our message from Boyz men to people that never heard about us before. And I'm just honored to even have him on this show, man. But without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you the man himself, the myth, the legend, Mr. Xavier. How you doing today?
I'm all right, my man. Good to have you. Good to see you.
Man, good to see you too, man. I'm going to allow you to give the chance, give the floor, tell the people a little bit about yourself, tell them like what you do and everything. I'm just here for the ride. Let me go ahead and tune in and get right.
Yes, sir. Well, it all started really for me just hanging out with friends, you know what I mean? I went to school for culinary at Pensacola State.
Okay.
I did 2 years over there. They gave me the opportunity to take a few more classes to get a hospitality degree. And so I got 2 associates over at PSC. And I took a break right then and figured I would try my hand, working my own business. Yeah. It all started with backyard parties.
Backyard
parties, you know what I mean? Everybody else's parties had no food. It was always just drinks, food, so they drinks, people, and just hanging out. It was never no food. And so whenever I would do my events, I would always be sure to really wear more than one hat. And so I had to, cater my food, design the party, put the whole layout together. And so it was just kind of really one step after the other. It was really a stepping block stone situation where I was learning things as I was growing after I got out of college, you know what I'm saying? And then it turned into a whole thing where this is what I'm going to base my brand on. Right. So right now I'm really just trying to try my hand in different aspects of event management. And so I had you at my last event, tea party. That was very different,
Yeah, hey, I have never, well, I can't say, I've been to a grown folks party, but that was a whole different experience having a party. Because, like I said, I ain't never experienced nothing like that in Pensacola before. Mm-hmm. So you opened my eyes to a whole different side of the city I didn't even know about. Mm-hmm.
That's what they're really trying to create right now, more experiences.
Yeah.
Over just the parties. Because we had a nice little era of
party.
Yeah.
Trust me. see, I think you were around, wait, how old are you?
32.
So you I'm 30. So you was there when,
Yeah, we didn't say
the silver screen, the edge.
The good old days.
The good old days. Team Wee, shout out to Team Wee and the twins. Mm-hmm. Like, people don't understand. I tell them all the time, Pensacola, we had it.
Was a stomping ground.
It was a stomping ground.
Yeah.
Like, party-wise, anything you ever think of.
Yeah.
I've seen it and it's been done here.
Yeah.
And then even the little period when I actually started throwing a party, I was like, man, I seen the same thing. It's like different eras, different times. So like, now I know like, now it's like, it was dead for the last couple of 2 years. So, yeah. Pensacola, don't sleep on us. Y'all never sleep on us, because look, we the little big city. They got a lot of kings and queens coming out of it, like a lot of talent. Y'all just don't understand.
Yes, sir.
But go ahead, let's keep going.
Well, just a little bit about my background right now. I want to go back to what you were saying earlier about a safe place for mental health.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know this about me personally. I base my business as not so much a distraction, but what's the word I'm looking for? An outlet.
Yeah.
To really get away from my mental health struggles. Yeah. Because I come from a dysfunctional family. And so when it came time for me to go to college, start my business, I was putting all my energy into making myself happy doing something. Yeah. And so that's how my brand really grew. Yeah. That's really what keeps me stable, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And trust me, I understand that one completely. Because whether we know it or not, sometimes we distract ourselves with the things we got going, so we don't deal with the stuff. And I know I was bad at that. And it actually took me going to jail to actually sit down and actually look at myself like, hey, I need to go ahead and work on myself.
Yeah.
And like, man, because I remember I used to put, like I said, all my time, my energy in like everything else. But when it got time for me to be by myself, like the voices was just so loud inside of me. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that's why I smoked, I drank, anything to avoid those voices.
Yeah.
And like a lot of men do that. We put ourselves into our work so we can distract ourselves from ourselves.
Yeah, what's really going on sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because like dysfunctional families, I think every family dysfunction nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everybody's looking at you like, oh, what you should have been doing. You should have did this, that, and that. I was like, I had that happen to me literally at Thanksgiving. It happened at every family gathering. They all, you always got that one person that they always pick out.
Yeah.
I'm the black sheep at that time.
Yeah.
I'm the black sheep. It's like, man, you should have been doing this. You could have go work here, go work. I was like, man, see, y'all tell me what y'all want me to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all don't see my vision of what I want to do. I'm like, at the end of the day, your opinion of what I want to do in my life doesn't matter because you're not me. And your outlook for what I should do, that's your outlook. Your opinion, keep it over there because if I tell you, you need to stop doing this, that, and third, you my uncle, you my auntie, or whatever, cousin.
They don't hear.
They don't, I was like, shit, you want to tell me all the time?
Yeah.
But like, I'm asking y'all, how long till y'all get y'all shit together? Oh, y'all ain't had till just recently. I was like, well, I'm doing good considering I'm just at 30. I'm already got this thing rolling. It just, it's like everything's coming with time. And I'm putting in the work now. It's going to pay off later. Y'all just don't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't for y'all to see. It's my vision.
Yeah, it was real different for me. I was like the first grandchild.
Oh, you got that person. Oh, damn.
I was the first grandchild. They wanted me to go to the military. They wanted me to, be the shining example. I took a step back and, went my way. And then I had my second cousin come up under me. He was everything they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
But I was so happy for him to be that, you know what I mean? So that way I could take my turn and, go my way. But everything still played out. Everything still, is positively working out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
The only thing right now is really just taking that quiet time, to shut out all the different voices. Like, I still hear it to this day, even though we 10 years past that point, we all grown now, having children or not, married or what have you, and we still trying to go back and still exceed those expectations, whatever they were. So let's say I go see my family, oh yeah, well, he ended up doing this, and what are you over here doing? I'm like, I still did all this other stuff, you know what I mean? So,
they never see the good stuff.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, what you didn't do.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't do what they told you to do, it's like, oh, you ain't did enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crazy part. They always looking at us like what we ain't did was enough. But if you look at everything we accomplished, we did more than we even expected to.
Mm-hmm.
So we exceeded our own expectations for
On a
ourselves.
low budget.
On a low budget.
Low resources.
Exactly. Because look, I always regretted me listening to my mom and them when it came to me going to the military. Because they got to the point where like, oh, if no one else wants you, Uncle Sam wants you. And I just said, I'm tired of hearing y'all say I'm gone.
Yeah.
But I took that experience and like, man, I made the most of it. I only did like 2 or 3 years, got out early. I learned this. Sometimes you gotta work the system before the system works you. And look, the people I met from them kind of helped me get to where I'm at today. But man, I think about all the time, like, man, I'm always listening to everybody else and they kind of directed my life for me. And I never took control of my life until like the last 4 or 5 years. And when I take control of it, they was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. I was like now just like, hey man, y'all had y'all experience with y'all life. This is my time.
Yeah.
I'm like, financial wise, I'm figured out. Mentally wise, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yes, sir.
Physically wise, I'm gonna figure it out. Because I'm like this, my family mostly just high blood pressure, diabetes, all that stuff. And they tell me, oh, why you be in the gym all the time? All this, that, third. You always go here. And I was like, because look, I realize y'all don't see, y'all how dysfunctional we are. And I'm not trying to have my kids fall in the same loop that y'all fell into. So I got to be the person to break that chain and break that whole stereotype. Like, I feel so heavy. Like, I feel like I got them all on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Even though I don't need them on my shoulders.
Yeah.
It's just like little by little, I'm just like, you know what? If you ain't my kids and the ones like real close to me, kick the step. Yeah. Wait, what high school you went to?
PHS. I went to Woodham till they closed. Was it 07?
Wait, you probably know my cousin.
Who that?
He played football over there.
I played like 1 year, but I can't really recall nobody because that was for a long time, where
But y'all the same age though, Anthony Hunter.
I had to see his face.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. He always looked like Lil Wayne back then. But yeah, Woodham. The New West Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, but how back to that mental health thing, like go ahead and dig deep into that, man.
That's really where it's at right now. Even like I say right now with a lot of people's brands and businesses, I'm starting to see even pre-COVID and stuff like that. I see a lot of people taking what they've been through or what they've experienced or what people expected for them and turn it into some type of positive, reaction. Whether it's starting a new family, starting a new business, or just being some version of an entrepreneur based on what their family or what their friends or what their social, circumstances laid out for them. Yeah. And so I'm really starting to click up with a lot of people to build my own brand, to be a multi-diverse brand. I see a lot of people who have hands in different, circles.
Yeah.
And so they're not just a part of one thing, they're a part of multiple things. And I'm seeing a lot of stuff blossom from that.
I think back in the day, it was so hard for us to see that and understand how to actually maneuver with it. Because you're like, man, now I got to put all this right here. And like I said, don't always put all your eggs in one basket. You got to be well versed. You got to be you got to be flexible to able to pivot at any time. Because a lot of these wealthy people, like, that wasn't taught to us in school. It's something we had to learn over time, like through our experiences. And I've been trying to teach my kids and like even the kids like I mentor and everything else. So I was like, hey, man, look, you gotta learn this part. Like, hey, I understand. You focus on the basics right now. Just look, I don't want you to do nothing else. Focus on the basics. You make sure you get all the little things right. All the big things, they're gonna come straight naturally.
Oh yeah.
But then like just trying to get them to have that mindset shift and like a lot of these kids these days, they've been through more stuff than
grown men sometimes.
Yeah. You be like, dang. Trying to get his mindset to shift is like these kids these days. It's just I feel for them because they got a lot harder than any other generation ever had, and so much pressure on them. And
even with more opportunities being available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because these kids, I feel like they come out depressed now, and trying to let them know it's okay, but like. Them find an outlet to separate for them to like how this is for me and listen like could be for you. Like this is my outlet. This is where I kind of release. This is where I can actually come and sit in and resort. Same thing with my therapy session. Same thing with the gym. It's like boom, I found my places where I can go. A lot of the kids ain't got no place to go.
They not even want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they know they need it.
Yeah.
But right now it's like, oh no. More about social status versus individual self. Yeah. And it's, I'm trying to figure out, look, how the hell, like, think about it. Going back to school, let's go back. Because we same age.
Yeah.
Damn there. I got 2 years. He got me about 2 years. But no, because the atmosphere back then in the 90s and everything, parenting is different from what it is now. Like, my mom just beat my ass.
All the time.
Look, I was scared for my life if I ever mess up, like, any little thing. I was like, man, I don't know why I get my ass whooped for. Now it's like, more sit down, like, I sit down and talk to my son versus... I realized, it took me already to 2020 to realize me and my mom never had a conversation.
I thought about it the other day too recently. My situation is very different from a lot of people in our age group because mama came up, she had 4 children, worked 2 jobs, raised us the best she could. And then even in her younger age right now, my mother's going through a mental health decline at a very young age. And so whereas with some people, your parents make it to the elderly age where you start taking care of them, I had to start not even 5, 6, 7 years ago. And so mama ain't even made it to the age where she can get all the different government resources, but she's already a dependent of mine. So when it came to, my situation was set up so much where, she wasn't able to give me everything that I wanted, credit, buy me a car, set me up and give me, a certain blueprint for life. And then before I even started getting it right, I got to turn around, double back, and now I got to fix her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that really put a lot of pressure on me to continue growing my brand because that was the nature of the whole brand business. It was not for me. I mean, yeah, you want to be successful, you want to have something of your own, you want to have financial independence and everything, but right now I'm doing it solely just because if I make it big enough or just, make myself, what's what I'm looking for? If you can make yourself at least comfortable, you know what I mean, and whatever you end up doing, then I can give that much back to her, make her life a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And so that's still doubling back. It's a full circle for me, where you barely make it out, and then you still got to turn around and go back into it. A lot of people struggle for so long trying to just get out. Once they finally get out, they never go back.
Yeah.
I wasn't even able to really make it out before I had to go back, and still try to fix what broke me. Yeah. They always say you can't heal in the same place you hurt from,
but
and so
our generation really got to do that though.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when I left, I thought I would never come back.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, I ain't gonna say stuck. I think I got planted here because this, like I said, a lot of this stuff around here is the reason why I am who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Then also being able to heal around the same places, it kind of give you a mixed vision of everything. Because even like high school things, like I had recently just had a conversation with my old high school coach. I always feel like, man, you favored this one kid the whole time. And he literally broke it down to me. He's like, bro, you ain't even know the whole story.
Yeah.
Because like ourselves telling our whole self this whole time, like, bro, you just didn't like me, this, that, and third. This, like, bro, you just, this your boy, this, that, and third. Yeah, you can play ball, but like, bro, you base everything around him and shit. And you ain't looking at all of us. I'm like, bro, I ain't got no daddy either. I'm looking at you like more of a daddy, father figure. Because I'm spending more time with you than I do anybody else.
Yeah.
And then found out, like, he was actually taking care of him and his family, the kid and his family, because they had got put out of their house and homeless. And he was like, I was like, made me look at him completely different.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I was like, dang, I'm over here. Like, this was a big little part of me, like, hating this place, and you just showed me, like, oh, I didn't know. So it kind of, perspective, it changed my perspective on a lot. Yeah. Sorry, Coach Cole.
Man.
No, and then I can, cause like when I finally moved out from my house and everything, I got my apartment and everything. Finally decided to go back to get custody of my son, move back in, turn around. My son's mother lost custody, do medical stuff. Then I couldn't. The place I left to go into, I couldn't be there anymore because I had to go through the whole court system with that. So I was like, man, it seemed like curveballs, left and right. So I understand what you're talking about with them curveballs, man. Them curveballs, they hit you, man. So childhood wise, like heroes, who do you have like childhood heroes?
It would have had to be my grandfather. He is the person that I am now. He is a lot of the reason why I am the way I am now, because he gave a certain personality trait. He's a big giver. Yeah. His family, his mother, of course, elderly. He's had a brother who was wounded military, and so after he got out of the military, he turned around and devoted his whole life to taking care of his mother, taking care of his brother, taking care of his children, his wife, before my grandmother passed, and just really being that pillar. Yeah. Okay, that set me up to have the standards that, okay, you look out for people. Yeah. You need to be a kind person. You need to, not be selfish in a sense, but, try to help out where you can. Yeah. At the same time, I kind of took it to heart too much. Yeah. Then you get to the point where
they're taking advantage.
How much is too much?
Yeah.
When should you let a person go? How much should you really tolerate? Yeah. So it's different from their culture to our culture. The principles are still the same, but you just have to, look at the circumstances sometimes.
Right.
But he's still alive and kicking. He's still the same OG, you know what I mean? I call him up right now. He gonna keep it real. He gonna tell me what I don't want to hear. Yeah. But I think about it a couple days later, like, okay, it's making sense. You really didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, but it's still making sense. Yeah.
That's how my sister is with me. She's the person, like, man, we have a conversation, we may argue, disagree, but later on I think about the conversation, I was like, all right, yeah, you're right here. You're right. I was wrong. But like my granddad was the same thing. Like that was my dude. Mm-hmm. But like I lost him my freshman year of high school. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dang, right when I needed you the most.
Yeah.
So I like really had to go through the whole thing, by myself trying to figure it out. and it sucked. But at the same time, like now I can look back on it and be like, the little moments that we did have together, the things we did do together, like it did mold me.
Yeah.
And like it may have not stick the way I wanted to stick at first, but it's like you always go back to the same lesson.
Yeah.
When you're doing something like, it's like boom.
Yeah, that's still hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like even when I do stuff with my son, I kind of when I look at him, I see me. And then I'll be looking like I'm my granddad. So I was like, dang, it kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
The same conversation I used to listen to or didn't act like I didn't hear, I'm having now with my son. It's just like, I got it now. It's like, dang. And then I go back. As soon as I have that, I'll be looking out the window until 2 drop. And I'm like, dang, I ain't catch it then, but now I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was real different because my dad was right there.
Oh.
Whole time. Mother was also right there whole time.
Yeah.
But I was raised by my grandfather. Okay. Daddy stayed on the road. And mama really didn't have much to give. And so that kind of created a different dynamic for me.
Yeah.
It's different when they're both around, but they both can't give you what you need.
Yeah.
And then even still now, my father's still good to me, you know what I mean? We not all that close. I call it right now, you know, everything's still good, but I still wanted him to be best friend dad, you know, right in your face type dad. Same thing with mamas, you know.
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
Right in your face. So it's kind of crazy, like when you say, even now that you are an adult, you think back like, I got raised up with this person my whole life, but I really can't really sit here and say, I know you like I want to know you, you know what I mean? So that's still, you know, I have to think back, like right now when I'm taking care of my mom, like how did you get to this point, you know, and what did you, you know, what are some of your thought processes and where did you come from? And I still have to go back and relearn this person, even though I've been with her all these years. I feel like I'm just really getting to know you.
Yeah. Because I realized my little sister have a bigger relationship with my mother than either other. Well, actually, my sister have a better relationship with my mother than I would ever have. Because like my therapist told me it's like this. It's called like relationship incest or something like that. So basically, because like sitting, I was always the man. So when you like your mom tell you, "Oh, you the man of the house," now you don't look at yourself at the same level. Like, "Oh, I'm her kid." Boom. Like she's more like she's like my therapist says she's more like my wife than my mother, or more like my sister than my mother, or like same thing like you say your dad and everything. Like since your granddad is really like more like your father, you're on the same level as them versus being like they have that role to you. Like, oh, you know, your dad, your mom. So that's why like so big and so important. Right? Like to when I'm with my kids, I'm like, you don't call me my first name. You don't call me none of this. It's dad.
Yeah.
And look, when you need something, you gonna talk to me. Feel free to come talk to me. Know the safe spot. But I also know this: when you're wrong, I'm gonna correct you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't mind talking. Like people try to say, "Oh, we need to be buddy." Hell no, because they lose once they see you as a friend. Most times they lose that respect. Like, oh, I ain't gotta listen to you. You my buddy. You my friend. Hell no. I'm telling my son straight up, keep trying me. I'll beat that. But no, like. And it's so crazy, like a lot of things we didn't know back then, but like once you like since I went to therapy, it makes it so much more sense now. Like I'm more aware of situations. Like now, like me and my mom, like we still got some work to do.
Yeah, always gonna be work to do.
Yeah, cause I be wanting to come in and just talk to her like. I see how my sisters talk to her. I'm like, okay. I'm thinking like, man, let me have a conversation with you. And it still never happens.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh no, I'm aggravating. I was like, but me open my mouth aggravating, you seem like you think I told her this and I still believe this, even though she may say it's wrong. I said, you look at me and see my dad who wasn't there, and you try to avoid me, like, or like I'm him. I'm not him. So I'll be like, man, can you just like talk? Because I remember this like three days ago. I was like really going through some stuff like in my head, like really bad, and I was like, man, like the voice was literally too loud.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, my therapist was during the holidays, so I couldn't talk to my therapist. I'm like, bro, everybody else was elsewhere. My mom right there, I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. Like, I ain't got time to. And I blew up on her. I was like, man. I was like, you know, I deal with like depression and mental health stuff. I was like, if I was to drive away right now, you should have no reason to cry at my funeral because you couldn't sit here and talk to me when I needed to talk to you and deal with stuff. And at that point, she literally just, I just walked out. I was like, man, my grandma was around there. She's like, how you talking? I was like, no, because I was like, this one thing I hate. Older people think, oh, you can't correct them when they need correcting, but they always can correct you. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah. I was like, y'all understand how important mental health is, but yet when someone comes and sit there and talk to you, and y'all ain't doing nothing but playing on your phone and watching TV, you can't pause the TV and watch it later to listen to hear what's going on, because that could be the difference between, oh, that man walking out of there, putting a gun to the head, or going to like a bridge jumping off, or driving something. Like, bro, those conversations actually matter. Yeah. And I'm like, and y'all trying to just saying, oh, nah, right now you making me seem like, I can see where people say, oh, they belittle the conversation and the importance of the conversation. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm supposed to be able to come to my mom and talk about stuff. I'm supposed to be able to come to my grandma and talk about stuff. Can't tell nobody. I was like, man, that's why I was like, man. I told my therapist, like, hey, on the holidays, I ain't want to call you, but I need to talk to somebody. Yeah. And luckily, she was open. She was like available. Mm-hmm. Because if she wasn't being available, Lord knows. Yes, sir. You know, like people, I need y'all to understand, mental health is serious. When somebody come to you and say, hey man, I need to talk, take 5 minutes to hear them out. Because y'all just don't know how important that 5 minutes could be. Because they could be overthinking in their head. Like I said, sometimes the voices in other people's heads be louder than their own voice. Mm-hmm. But
I got a couple conversations I need to have, but I'm trying to figure out how to approach them. Yeah. Because a lot of people, specifically in my family, they look at the situations based on how they feel, based on how they're already tolerating them, and so depending on how you approach them, they might look at it like, oh, okay, he coming from a hateful perspective. He coming from I'm always doing wrong perspective. Yeah. He coming from I can't do nothing right perspective. And really, I just want to understand. I really want to see where you at. I really want to, get to know you a little more so that we can be on the same page. I'm not saying you right or wrong. Yeah. I really just want to have that conversation. But it's so thin. The line is so thin. Yep. Versus I could lose you just by even having the conversation. Like I want to tell you and I want to ask you and I want to get on a common ground, but just to even bring it up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's scary. Yeah. I understand because look, I had to realize, like when they ain't playing foul, fighting foul, when it comes to conversations, like my therapist always telling me, like sometimes you walk away, they gonna always throw emotions and everything in there. But sometimes you just gotta say it. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn, like, man, don't hold back. I ain't hold back with none of them. I was like, cause like my sister, she knows this one thing I hate the most, like when I'm having a conversation with her. And especially something like someone calls it, oh, I heard this was going on, blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to tell you, sit here and listen to you. It's time for you to sit here and listen to me. And she held up in my face. Mm-hmm. I literally called her back. I said, fuck you. Yeah. In front of my grandma and mom and everything else too. I was like, man, I was blind at that time. I was like, man, you had this conversation numerous times and I told you I need to stop doing it. You already agreed to that. So basically by you doing that, it was a slap to my face. So fuck you. Like, I love you as a sister, but as far as like you ever come in like trying to talk to me about anything else, I ain't got time to hear because you crossed we just set the boundary and you just already just crossed it. Yeah. And like them conversations, like I said, it's hard to have, especially with family because they always have an emotional side and everything. But I had to learn how to come and say, hey man, we're gonna have to talk. Like I just need to understand your perspective. We're gonna I'll let you talk, you let me talk. I just need to know how I'm feeling about this situation, because if not, I'm at the edge and I'm like, I don't even know I can still be happy in my life like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Like, it's crazy because some of them just don't see.
Yeah.
They role in certain things that they play,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing like the roles they play in our lives affected us to a point where now like, hey, if we don't correct this, I can't have you in my life.
Yeah.
Because y'all supposed to be my circle, my safe net, and it's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jumping into a cactus.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't about to come out, ow, thorns and everything. I'm like, nah, I'm supposed to be able to come to y'all, jump into like a bundle of roses or something, nothing with stickers in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just supposed to be safe. And like, most times, the most dangerous people to come to is family.
Yeah.
Which is scary.
Where I'm at right now, I'm really, because my family is set up the way it was, and I lost all the friends that I thought I had.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. They've been there, done that.
All the friends that I thought were my friends at one point, everybody went their separate ways. Different people, chose life choices and, had their outcomes, and we lost a couple people.
Yep.
I had people who I just stopped talking to. We usually had no reason not to speak. We just went separate ways. So
Yep.
now I'm at a point where I'm trying to find family. I'm trying to re-engage with certain members of the family.
Yep.
I got certain family members who I don't even have a relationship with, who I maybe should want to. And then then when it goes back into business, I'm trying to build business relationships. Are y'all my friends? Or can we be business associates,
Yep.
Are we close enough to be family, Because, everybody has a season.
Yeah.
And so right now, I'm in a spot where I'm just trying to figure out who is here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I got family who I was raised with. As soon as they left, I never heard from them again.
Yeah.
I also got friends that I ain't never lost touch with them since the day we met. At the same time, those same friends, we ain't best of friends. I can't, we don't hang out day to day. We don't talk at all. But when I finally do catch up with them, it's like, you're like my brother.
Yeah, just like we got on.
Like you almost want to be, you almost like my parent. I got a great relationship with you. You ain't never gave me no bad feeling, And so that's really where I'm at right now in life as a whole. Separated myself from everything that I thought didn't do me no good, even the stuff that did not mean well for me. It separated itself out.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that I thought, hey, we're gonna be cool. Okay, we grew up together 10 years plus. As soon as we get grown, I ain't heard from them more.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So some stuff you don't even have to do. But right now it's all about positive relationships.
Yeah.
And what that's gonna mean down the line. Because, 1, 2, 5 years is okay, but what can you really learn from, what can you really take from these situations that are really resourceful?
Yep.
Okay. So it's kind of like our relationship, I'm looking for people just like yourself, just meeting and greeting, networking. Networking is the biggest thing right now.
Yep.
It's not even about can we be friends, but what can we really learn from each other? Because in this generation, there is so much to learn that this person may know, this person may have been through that you have never experienced, but just from networking, you know what I mean? You don't have to call yourself my friend.
Yep.
But if we have a good relationship and we engage a couple times, and I say, hey, I seen that guy, I know him, I learned stuff from him. He's a good guy. I said, you can kind of say friends, whatever your safe word is, but it's all still about those positive relationships.
And you just said it, they're positive, because man,
I got friends, like I said, I'm 10-year friends. I haven't learned anything from these people.
I be asking, and I really asked like recently. I was like, I got to change my crowd because I got replacing. Because like saying, the friends that I had around, I used to always ask. I was like, being around though, is this added to me or is it just like they taking?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying like necessarily taking like resources, but like
keeping you stagnant.
Keep me stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized the majority of the time when I ask a question, I'm like, I already know the answer to this question. They not adding. So I'm like, I know what I'm trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, now oh, boom. I had a clothing line. I was like, man, hey, y'all buy a shirt, post it or something? Nah. But y'all, like, they always post other stuff. I was like, man, I had other friends, and then like, boom, people I didn't even know. Like, oh man, let me show you your shirt, boom. I was like, But you still are my best friend.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, even though you ain't buying the shirt, you should still do to support me. Then turn around, you supporting your other friends on the other stuff. It's like, so what's the problem? So we ain't really friends like that?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Give me a small stuff that'll show you.
Exactly. And
yeah.
they be like, oh no, you overreact. I was like, nah, I just see clear.
Yeah.
Because like, if this was your business, you would want me to support you. And I would have did that. But it's mine. And you ain't supporting me. So how would it look? He's like, man, you just always got on your head. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
I need you to take your sunglasses off and see some real stuff. Cause like, hey, when I'm not with y'all, I'm doing perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I ain't wasting no time. I'm about my business, getting the shit done. Now, when you're here, it kind of look.
Yeah. Things be a little different.
Look a little suspicious.
Yeah.
So I'm like, y'all ain't adding.
Yeah.
And like really, I really want some people around me that if I'm pointing to them, they point to me, we doing the same thing. Because if it's not equally, ain't gonna say I gotta be equally yoked, but you never adding to nothing. It's like, my thing gonna be empty. You take all this stuff, you left me dry.
Yeah.
So, like when you said them positive relationships, they are needed.
Yes, sir.
They is needed for growth and in every aspect of life. Sometimes you got to step away from
what you used to.
Yeah, what you used to.
Yeah.
And blood to find out, hey, you got some other family out there, chosen families, that I like to put it. You get to choose who you is your family. Blood don't mean nothing. Blood make you relatives. They don't
That's
make
when
you
I found my old lady.
What?
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
Wait, matter of fact, I know who your old lady is. She graduated with me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause I looked at her, I was like, I know who that is.
My old lady a diamond now.
Yeah.
She a diamond. I'm just gonna put that on the wood. She is the real deal.
But she always been good people.
Yeah.
Like, kind-hearted, like always caring person. Like, even during high school, friend-wise, she always, I could tell she always just had that caring spirit about her. And man,
we come from similar walks of life. We actually, it's crazy because I've only had a few girlfriends, let's say 3, maybe 4.
I mean, yeah, we done it. We same thing. We the same boat.
We're in relationships, you know. And so me and her came up exactly the same, not even knowing it. Her father wasn't there. My father was around, but we not that close. Her mother was there. She was elderly, and she took care of her mother in her old age before she passed. And then my mother is young, but I take care of her, you know. And so we both don't have children yet. We both found each other after a couple fair relationships, and then boom, magic. You know what I mean? Older girlfriends. I had a girlfriend wouldn't do anything I needed. Wouldn't really support me in the way I needed. You know what I mean? I mean, I ain't saying I couldn't have been better, but we just were not made for each other.
Yeah.
And then me and her get together, it's like just perfection. Anything I need done, she do it without me having to ask. Everything that I, you know what I'm saying, am looking for, she's already that. And so the relationships I was looking for in certain men folk, I'm just gonna say I found it in my old lady.
Yeah.
Okay, they always say, sometimes they will say, most times anyway, that your old lady be your rider, you know what I mean? It's not always your best male friend or the people who you came up with. It'll be that one person or that group of people who you find and then finally build that relationship with. And then we ain't even been together that long, maybe 7, 8 months, give or take. And we already talking about making some power moves.
Hey,
power moves.
Hey,
the same moves I could not get my best friend to do, the same moves I couldn't do with all the other people who I met, spent money with, stuff like that. Yeah, when you finally get into that positive relationship, it don't take long for you to recognize it because it's so refreshing. You know what I mean?
Because look, that's why the girl I'm talking to, like, she taking the thing slow.
Yeah.
But I kind of already can see kind of the signs of that. I was like, man, like, she's still dealing with some trauma. And I'm like, I ain't rushing that. I'm like, bro, we can take your time. Like, I literally just got the phone with her before we came in here. Because she came back from vacation and stuff, from visiting family and stuff. She drank. I was like, man, she like, I might be able to see you for a long time. Don't be mad. I was like, I ain't mad. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Cause look, at the end of the day, you gotta I told her, put yourself first. You got to. I gotta put myself first too. Cause in order for me to be able to do best version of myself for you, I gotta take care of me. And the same thing with you. You gotta be able to take care of yourself. Like, you know what you need. Like, you need your time. Take your time. Do your thing. But, man, I had to tell her, like, man, I was like, look, we playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
She's like, huh? I was like, man, we playing chess, not checkers. Remember that. She's like, she's like, oh, here you go. You gotta tell me some stuff. I was like, yeah, but you might want to listen this time. I was like, look, the two most important pieces on chess is the king and the queen.
Mm-hmm.
The king is the most important piece, but the queen is the most powerful piece.
Mm-hmm.
Them two pieces right there. Think about it, without the queen, the game gets 10 times harder.
Yeah.
But when she got that queen on your side,
Yeah.
that king can maneuver and get things done that
Yeah.
put everybody else in checkmate.
Yeah. See, me and my old lady, we can't even. I like what you say that y'all take time apart every now and again for whatever reason. Right now, with me and my old lady, we refuse to separate.
Oh, look, trust me, I want to get to that part,
Yeah.
but I was like, man, I know. I was like, ah.
It's just so refreshing right now to have somebody that want to be there, that got your best interest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That do stuff for you or, you know, around you or because of you without you having to beg or ask or to feel like, you know, you're asking too much or, you know, you're taking away from that person or, you know, you're trying to teach them certain stuff. So it's like we basically, I feel like she's my twin.
Yeah, the twin flame, you got that twin flame coming.
Well, see, we was actually, her birthday is 2 weeks before mine. And we the same age. And we got the same upbringing, and we got the same, you know, mentality. You know, she's a giver. She's a, you know, a person of faith, and stuff like that. And so, I'm like she ain't my twin.
I'm like, man, where you been in my whole life?
Yeah.
Right around the corner,
In
just
the city,
there.
yeah.
And that's the that would give people hope.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like, even though everything else didn't work out, all it took that one person.
Mm-hmm.
Look, man, this girl, look. I don't even want to talk about her like this, cause look, ain't even like she ain't my girl. That's the thing about it,
but that relationship is still there.
Yeah, like when I called her, told her about the stuff that was happening on Thanksgiving with the family. It's like, that's none of their business.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even let that bother you. But just stuff like that, I was like, it's like, girl, you was here right now. It's like, we're going to the courthouse tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like,
I said the same thing. My thing was with the holidays, because my family dynamic is so dysfunctionally separated, I do not engage in holidays whatsoever.
oh,
I don't enjoy no holiday because other people, I have close adopted families who I was raised around, and they have, you know, married parents. They have, everybody was raised in the same house. That family house is still the safe place to go back to. You know, these people are 5 years my senior, but they still can go back to their family house. And so the dynamic was just there. Like, I was so jealous of that for a little while. And so when it came, when I was time for me to go home, time for us to do our holiday thing, this person don't want to be around. This person got an attitude. This person, we still ain't hashed it up since last year. So this specific holiday, this past Thanksgiving, I told my wife before we got to go, hey, when the holidays roll around, do not expect me to be holly jolly Mr. Santa or whatever, because I do not enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that I, as a pastime that I, you know, grow up appreciating. So it's Thanksgiving morning. I slept in the bed till I felt like getting up. I finally got up. I got on Facebook. I'm just whatever. I look at these people, they eating their plates. Okay, cool. We got groceries in there, but I'm not going to go cook nothing. That's not something that's going to really make me happy. She left, took off, went to the stove, and came back. She called me up. She said, you get your ass up and you go in there and turn that stove on. When I get back, we making some Thanksgiving food. I said, you know what?
yes, ma'am.
I'm about to get my ass up.
Yes, ma'am.
This feels good. You know, this feels good. Somebody to want something better for you that's not really even giving them anything necessarily in return, but just because they want to see you in a better headspace.
Yeah.
That's a big, big eye opener for me, because all it takes is that little bit of selflessness from one person to another. It could be man to man, it could be woman to woman, but specifically because we're in a relationship, that's what really makes me cling close to her, because I know that she got my best interest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The only thing wrong with me and this girl, I'm clinging. She a little person like.
Yeah.
So.
It takes time.
It takes
time.
Yeah.
People not used to that most times, and I'm still not used to it. I be trying to push her off because I'm a pushy person.
Yeah.
I don't really like for you to get too close to me, because I know, like, with other relationships, family, whatever have you, it don't work out.
Yeah.
But for this one, I've made a conscious thought process to make sure I allow her to do the things that is also going to allow me to get out of that mindset.
Yeah.
And it's actively working. Just the other day, you know what I'm saying, she did something and I said, you know what, I'm going to allow you to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to engage in what you're giving me the opportunity to be a part of. And it worked out just fine. Yeah. I can't say that, I had any bad experience after that, because we had an okay holiday. We spent time together. And I like, when going back to what you say, this is chess, not checkers, and how the king and queen matter so much. We did not do what neither of us normally do, which is pack up, go visit this person, visit that person, do this, run around, exhaust all this energy trying to please these other people. All these other people can really go.
Yeah.
It was just me and her. And we sat on the couch and watched court TV.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
But we were both happy, in that element, because the king and the queen of the relationship were both satisfied. It didn't take what uncle and them doing at their house, what grandmama and them might be doing over here. Yeah. Just chasing their version of happiness, which is what's traditionalized, where, on holidays, you gotta do all this, you gotta do all that, you gotta have dinner ready by a certain time. I'm a cook. I started off in culinary, so I got up, turned the oven on, had the dinner ready in like 2 hours. It didn't take all day. We said we was gonna eat when we got time to eat, and we ate, and we chilled
out the rest of the day.
And that was a good, just an experience. It was not what we wanted to do, not what we said we were gonna do, rather what she wanted to do or whatever have you. But it was good to just be in that element and not worry about anything else.
Ooh, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, dang. Ooh. That's, hey. Yeah, because a lot of people chase that.
Yeah.
Because I told my mom the other day, I said, man, I don't even know why you even celebrate Thanksgiving. And I don't even know why you celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
Because technically, I was like, that's a pagan holiday.
Yeah.
If we're going to think, I say, we're going to be technical about it, we're not supposed to be celebrating that day.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a day of a slaughter
mm-hmm.
of people. And all the other stuff. I was like, Christmas, that ain't Jesus' birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody already know it ain't his birthday, so it just really, us spend more money out here, there, and third. I was like, if we want to really get together, we can get together any Saturday, mm-hmm. Sunday, do whatever. But I was like, why we gotta celebrate this? Why we gotta celebrate that? I was like, man, I said, let's be different.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that part, I was like, no, we still gotta celebrate for the kids. I was like, no.
You don't have to.
You ain't got to.
Yeah.
This is something y'all conditionalized and knowing that, this is what we have to do, but you don't really have to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, let's raise them differently. Like, it's okay to be different. Yours is gonna be a little awkward at first, but after that part, I'm like, man, smooth sailing from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I did recently. It's actually a very different concept, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'm gonna tell you, because I only explain it to a handful of people. But because of my family dynamic and the way I came up, I did not like the holidays.
Yeah.
My family was never together on a holiday. This person was always here. This person was always unhappy. This person didn't want to come around. So there was never a time in the last, bulk of my adulthood life that I really focused on that it was what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And so I started to resent being around family. Like, when I see people coming around, I really don't want to see you like that, because I've gotten conditioned to not wanting you to be around. Yeah. I'm not looking for you to be around. I know you're not expecting me to go out of my way to come around. And so it was about 2 years ago that I really started kind of doing some soul searching and going back to, me not enjoying the holidays. I considered myself a Grinch.
Yeah.
I consider myself a Grinch. I really, by humbug, don't come around me with that. I don't want to be bothered. But then, as things started taking a little bit of a turn, this is before relationship, this is before my business started, thriving a little more, I just decided I would do something to change that dynamic. And about a year and a half ago, I ordered the Grinch costume. And I decided I would do something for the kids. I would take a portion of myself and, just try to give back and change what I thought that I was creating for myself. Because I had created in my own mind that this is how I want to be. Yeah. But in my heart, it wasn't. And so I'm actually going to do it this year as well. I ordered my Grinch costume, and I'm going to visit daycares, nursing homes, schools. I did house calls last year, took pictures with the kids and stuff like that. And so, because you can get Santa Claus anywhere, and but you can't get the Grinch everywhere. But the Grinch was a person that needed love. Yeah. A lot of people would always skip over that part. They thought he was, a scary character, stuff like that. But around that same time, it was that person that needed to be around people, the same people he resented, the same people he wanted to stay away from. To grow.
Yeah.
And that helped me also in business. You know, I added that to my business portfolio, something that I do to evade my mental health struggle, which was to actively do that. Because that, instead of me saying, oh, I hate the holidays, I don't want to be around people, I'm going to use this side of my personality to put a spin on it, to force myself to want to be a little bit more positive.
Oh.
And the community has enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They don't know why I do it,
but they knew now.
yeah.
But no, I ain't gonna lie. That's
because I didn't think about it at first. When I first did it, I was doing it to make some money.
Yeah.
It was quick. It was like I charge you $25, $30 a pop up, and then I realized like, hey, I really didn't like doing this before.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing it to be around people, but I'm doing it in a way where I can hide behind a mask, which is really what a lot of people do anyway.
Yep.
Which is, use something to cover up, how they really feel, but it's kind of helping and it's kind of fixing. It just depends on how you use it. And so I think I'm gonna try to keep it going for at least a little while, while it's, while I'm in the city and while it's working for me and stuff like that. But it's something just like my whole branding, like when we went from the beginning. I say it's something I do to distract myself. And so around the holiday time, I use that to distract myself from, the struggles or anything that would make me unhappy. By forcing myself to be unhappy, I put on this character and I like that,
So it'd be like, oh, I can't get me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But now, I ain't gonna lie, that's dope though. But look, you gotta go check out my therapist.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, therapy is not scary. It's not, at first I thought it was like bullshit and scary and shit. Mm-hmm. But no, I realized it took me 4 or 5 therapists to find somebody that actually connected with. Cause look, man, that work I did now, like, I ain't gonna lie, I used to hate my family the same way. Mm-hmm. I tolerate them. They went from hate to tolerate it.
Yeah.
But no, like, and little stuff alone, like, helped me get out of a lot of this trauma that people understand everything we go through in childhood, a lot of stuff, not knowing it could be trauma, is trauma. Mm-hmm. And like, man, the help that therapy did with me, I used to look in the mirror, couldn't even recognize who I was at first. Mm-hmm. Till like last year, I looked in the mirror, I was like, damn, where you been at?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, it's like, I already knew. It's like, the stuff that happened already happened. It's just now I got better tools now to deal with it and how to look at it now. I could always pull something good that came out of it. And thank you to my therapist, man. Hey, years ago, and thank God too. Cause look, if it wasn't God and all this stuff, hey, I would have checked out a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. But man, Mr. Xavier, before we close up this episode, I would let my guests come and leave like best pieces of advice to the people that are watching. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go ahead and allow you give the flow, something you want them to take away from this episode so they can really home in on the message.
I would really say, don't be afraid to do a little soul searching, because what other people think about you and even what you think about yourself sometimes, even in your adult age, can still be incorrect. You still have plenty of time to revamp what you already think you are. Don't be afraid to rekindle and, fix things that you think are going wrong. The main thing is there are so many resources going on right now that you could actually change your entire life within a small time frame. So anything that you're dealing with, anything that you think you want to do, you want to be able to still accomplish, you still have that time. As long as you are actively doing the work to get yourself where you want to be. If it's somebody who if you only have one person, it could be an elderly person, it could be somebody you meet in a supermarket, something like that. Just don't be afraid to take that little bit of leap out on faith, because that can change your whole perspective. It only takes one little bit change to really start you on the right path where you think you might want to be. That's where I'm at right now.
Hey, I ain't coming up to that. I'm just gonna snap. Look, hey, man, look, if y'all didn't get that message right there, do a little digging.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it's gonna be worth it. You're gonna like who you find. If you don't like who you find, keep digging. Eventually you will. But man, thank you again, Mr. Xavier, coming up.
Sir.
Oh, yo, I forgot, man. Hey, you got a party coming up.
Yes, sir. Got a few things we're working on.
Go ahead, let them know about the parties coming up, man.
Well, we're gonna do a little Christmas party on 12/22 over at the Life Center, Pensacola, Florida. We also gonna do the Grinch Project. If you got kids, if you got a youth care facility, if you're working with the children, if you got any group of people who you think might benefit from that little bit of interaction around the holiday season, you can reach out to me. Best way is the phone number 850-465-6955. You can hit me up on a phone call or text message, or hit me up on Facebook, social media, Xavier Williams, and I'll respond back to your message as soon as I can.
Yes, sir. Man, like I always say before we close out these episodes, man, dream big dreams, because small dreams have a little magic. And how big we dream, you know you couldn't fail. Remember this. You do your best and let God take care of the rest. And kings and queens, I know it's heavy, that crown you got on your head, but keep your head up. You never know, better days are ahead. Like I said, peace, love, happiness, y'all. And y'all, we out.
Yes, sir.
I know that I'm different, self-motivated, self-disciplined, yeah. I learned from my experience. I just want someone to take me serious. Real questions that I ask. How long will this solo trip last? I'm content with being alone in the past, but it's changing and it's something I can't grasp. Turn off my phone, I'm in my zone, so now I'm acting different. I'm to myself, I'm in my head, mapping out this life I'm living. Shadow work on myself, I done already seen hell. Can't fit in, so I rebel, but I don't miss a beat. I don't miss a beat.